I'd like to introduce Sharon Roney. She is our main librarian up at the Division of Safety and Hygiene. She's been with the Bureau for 14 years. She's been with many agencies. I believe that she's done a lot of safety councils, especially with the virtual. So I would like to welcome Sharon. Thank you for attending.
Well, hello, everyone. Yes, I am a librarian. I am your librarian because the BWC library serves not just our fabulous safety consultants like Ben, but we also work with the employers in the state of Ohio. So if you are looking for safety information, materials, things of that sort, you have myself and Amy Klein and Andrew Hart to fall back on. There is a handout for this event. It has a link to, it has our email address, it has our phone number, and I'm going to show you where to find the library on the BWC website so that we can, get any of your questions answered, get materials out to you. We have a lot of stuff that you won't just find out on the internet, even though lots of things are on the internet. As we always know, not everything is on the internet. So I wanted to start by showing you some things on the BWC website, in particular, the libraries page, because we have a lot of material there for you. And then I'll show you some websites that the librarians use to answer questions and some things that we think are particularly useful out on those websites. So I am going to share my screen. Let's see here. And starting here with the BWC's website. This is the homepage of the BWC's website, info bwc.ohio.gov. So the first thing really is on this main page, Ben mentioned his webinar. If you basically just scan down on the website at just the main home page, you'll get down here and you'll see events. And if you click on this link, you'll find all events. And this not only has just, like the board of directors and the things that are going on in the agency, it lists all the training sites, the training that we've got going on. And this is the one right here that Ben was talking about. This is the, that's the thermal stress one. Whoop, I grabbed the wrong one. But at any rate, his webinar on chemicals, I think that's on the second page, actually. Yep, right here. What do I do when I spill a chemical? So there it is. You can get some information about what the topic is, and then there's a link to register you. So all of the training that's coming up, the virtual training and the webinars are going to show up on this main page for the BWC. So you can find those. And I also put these in the monthly safety newsletter that the library puts out. So that's another place to find them all together in one spot. The June one will hopefully be out at the end of the week. I'm just waiting for it to come back from review. So I'll show you where to find those if you're not getting them regularly. So if you're on the BWC's pages anywhere, you're going to see this up here at the top. This sort of menu stays wherever you are on the website. And so if you want to find safety information, you click here on For Employers, and that brings up another menu on this left-hand side. About halfway down there is Safety and Training. This is where all of the stuff lives on the BWC website that has to do with training. There's links to get our safety consultants to help you out. You all know Ben, so you can probably get a hold of him directly, but if you need something else, there's a link to that. The safety education page is basically those webinars and the training. There's links to our grant page, so if you're interested in the safety grants, you can go there. And of course, my very favorite spot, the next one down, which is the video safety and video library. I said all libraries are special. Some are more special than others, and what we have is called a special library. So that means that our topics that we cover are not just the standard things that your everyday public library would have. Our stuff is very specific to the sorts of things that go on at the BWC. And in this case, mostly safety, because that's the division we're under. The library is part of safety. And so if you look at this here, you'll see our link to with our phone number and our email address, and a direct link to call our video library. So when you scan down on this library page, you're going to see all the materials that we have available for you. And there's like 9 different segments here. So this first one, Ask a Librarian, is basically a form that you can use to ask us a question, but you don't have to use that form. As a matter of fact, most people don't. We have it there in case you want it. But if you'd rather just give us a call or send us an email, that's certainly the most common way that anybody gets a hold of us. So just feel free to reach out anytime you need something. You need a standard, you need some safety information, you've got a question about an OSHA regulation. We know lots of people are very hesitant to call OSHA. We are not that sort. We like to call them. We call them all the time, as a matter of fact. We ask questions that some people put to us, and OSHA doesn't care who the question came from. We don't need to tell them that. We just get the answer, and then we'll relay it to you. So if you have a question about something in OSHA, ask us. Chances are, if we can't find it right off the bat, we'll call OSHA and find out. The next thing on here is a link to the book catalog. Yes, we have books. We are an actual physical library in the William Green building on the 3rd floor. You can visit us, but we will also send you books if you want to borrow them. So if you're looking for a kind of a deep dive on a topic, we've got a extensive catalog of books on safety and industrial hygiene, toxicology, medicine. So you're welcome to search this catalog, and if you want to borrow a book from us, we'll send it to you. That is something that we do for our customers directly. We'll send out those books via UPS, typically directly to our customers. We'll make out a State of Ohio library card for you, so we've got an account to check it out on, and then, like I said, we'll ship you the book, and you can get those very expensive materials that you might not want to purchase. So, keep us in mind if you're looking for some, as I said, some more in-depth information about safety. The next thing on here is our historical archives. And I particularly love this stuff because it's actually 2 collections that are online right now. The BWC Library holds the archive of the agency. We have materials going back into the 1920s, from the very start of workers' compensation in Ohio. And 2 of our collections are online right now. One here, safety programs, and the other one is the Ohio Monitor. The safety programs are particularly fun because it is our safety poster collection. As you can see right now, there are 499. We have a handful of them that we haven't uploaded yet. So we have literally over 500 of these historic safety posters. The agency used to produce these up into, I would say it's probably early 90s. We were creating with our own artists at work at the BWC, these posters. In particular, like here's one of them that we're particularly proud of because this is the oldest one in the collection, and it comes from World War II. So this is a World War II vintage poster. We actually have it out of the library right now at a conservation company, making sure that it is preserved for a very long time. It's been around for a long time, and they weren't made to last forever. So we're having it professionally conserved to make sure that we won't lose this poster. It'll always be available in our collection, but we've scanned all of these. And so, like I said, basically they're available in the collection. There's just some really fun ones in here. Our firefighter, we love him because isn't he just fabulous and graphic? That poster just you know, not something that you would see every day. So we do love our poster collection, and you can download these from the website. Some of them are a little out of date, but they're really for historic purposes, but they are kind of fun. So the other thing in the Ohio Monitor is, or in the archive collection, is the Ohio Monitor. This one is really kind of fun as well because it goes back to 1928. This is a monthly magazine that was created by the agency. It ran from 1928 all the way up into the 1990s. Some of the more recent ones then even beyond that in different, under different titles, like there was Workers' Comp Quarterly and some other titles that are available. But this is full text searchable. You can actually search for names. If I were to open up the search on this and search for my grandfather, who was Sharon Roney, I would find a picture of him in 1966 at the Ohio Safety Congress, taking the keys to a car he won in a safety slogan contest. So you never know what you're going to find when you start searching here. If you were to search the name of the council here, Southwest Ohio, you'd find probably some articles that mention your safety council. So like I said, the whole history of workers' comp in Ohio is kind of captured in this, and safety is captured in this archive. So it's very fun to look at. So we certainly recommend it to when you've got some time, because it's it'll drag you in and you just find yourself searching around through it. The next thing on here is the Ohio specific safety requirements. These are the specific safety rules of the state. We digitized the entire collection from 1924 up to the 2000s. So the brand new ones are linked here at the Ohio Administrative Code website. We have a link for them here. But if you go down here, what you'll see is that all of these old safety regulations have been linked on here back to the first one. So here's the 1924 one, and they're all PDF files. So you'll see elevators, workshops, and factories is probably the most popular one. But this one is something that we were getting lots and lots of requests for from attorneys. They wanted to know what the regulations were when some, in particular, some old manufacturing equipment. You'll see this one, presses, hammers, machines from 1933 to 1950. We're finding out that some of these old machines are still actually in use. And so they want to know what was in the standard at the time that the actual machine was first put into use. So we created this website with all of those old standards linked. You'll find a list of them here, sort of a finding aid and a history of it, and some search tips, because they changed names as they went through the years. First they were bulletins, then Industrial Commission had them, and then they were in the OAC, and there's two different titles that they were in under the OAC. So we had to kind of create a finding aid for these. So if you're interested at all in the history of the regulations, you'll find all of the old ones in here, and we're pretty sure that we have every single one at this point. So that that is available. If I go back on here, I'm just going to walk through all of these for you. So the safety newsletter, as I said, I and my staff create a safety bulletin every single month. We do send them out to the safety councils. If for some reason you didn't get a month or you've missed out on one or two, we keep a full archive of the current and the previous year on the website. We try to grab things that are kind of new on OSHA and NIOSH's website. We cover the things that are new from BWC, and anything else that we basically see out there that's going on kind of current in the field of safety. Also on this page, if you scan down here, are the safety bulletins. And these are kind of hot topics. you'll see that we literally just put up one for power lawnmower safety. That is an update of a 2019 one that we did on power lawnmowers, because we're finding that there were a large number of accidents, and I believe there was at least one death in the last month from lawnmowers. And so we are trying to kind of hit those hot topics. So you'll see, like in 2020 in particular, dry ice was a hot topic because they were shipping vaccines on dry ice. So we created a bulletin to make sure people knew how to handle it, because it was not something that everyone had familiarity with. Same thing with Legionnaire's disease. Buildings that had been closed for a long period of time were dealing with Legionella in their heating and cooling systems. So again, it's just like you see, here's a hot topic from May of last year: heat stress, still relevant. So those safety bulletins, if there's anything new that's come up, you'll see those down at the bottom of the page there at on this particular spot on BWC's website. So the next one is safety standards. I'm not going to click on that link because it goes to a very large Excel spreadsheet. The library has, I think it's 1,500 safety standards in our collection right now. I mean, it's an entire wall of safety standards, and we're currently recataloging the entire collection to make sure that we have a handle on exactly what's in the collection. So we're continuously updating this list so that we have a complete list on here. Now, we don't lend out our safety standards except to consultants within the agency. However, we usually find that what somebody needs is just a section of the standard. They, like, for instance, if it was a machine, they want the guarding information or some operator or training information out of a safety standard. And we can just scan that and send it to you. And we can't scan entire standards because, unfortunately, these are all under copyright, with a few exceptions, but we can usually get the material out of the standard that you need. So if there's something from a safety standard that you're looking for, please ask us, because there's a good chance we're going to have it. I mean, like I said, we have an enormous collection and we're buying new ones all the time. So we try to keep up to date on the most popular standards that are used in the safety field. So, but that list is here on the website, and we'll continue to update that as we finish our recataloging of our entire collection. So one of the things we did this last couple of years is created new safety talks. If you've been around the agency for a while, you might remember that we used to, and it was back when I first started working at the BWC, we used to create a yearly document with 12 safety talks, so basically one for each month. And those had started to get way out of date. So we went back through and redid all of those safety standards, and we just put them all in one place. Nowadays, we don't need to create a paper copy and send it out to everybody. It's very easy to get them here. These are all PDFs, and you'll see the different topics. I think the most current ones are probably in the ergonomics, because we've been working on trying to finish those up. But these are all within the last 2 years, every single one of these. And they all are kind of formatted the same way. They have some information at the beginning if you need to gather up some stuff before doing your talk. They have definitions, some basic information about the topic. And then at the end, there's always an exercise and some resource links. So if there's, there's, like I said, a very large list here on this website of these safety talks. If there's a topic that you don't see, there's something that you're looking for, ask the library, because we have access to a lot of things that we haven't covered here. I mean, obviously we've tried to get some of the most popular topics, but there's always going to be something that's a little more obscure, something that maybe we haven't gotten to yet. And the librarians can typically find something for you. So, that's something that we would encourage you to ask us if you need a safety training material of some sort for a topic that's not covered on here, or need additional materials. You've already used this one and you want another one. So, we're happy to look for more material like that. So going back here on the page, and speaking of safety training, the most heavily used service of the BWC library is the safety videos. If you don't have a safety video account with us, I really encourage you to do this, because I think we have like 1 million downloads last year from our streaming video service. So, or 1 million uses from our streaming video service. Is very popular. We have a physical collection, so we have DVDs. So the largest collection that we have are the DVDs, and there's about 600 topics in there, 600 titles essentially, not topics. But so you can order those from us. So if you scan down on this page, the first thing you see here is register as a borrower. That's what you need to do no matter what part of this system you want to use. It's a different login than your BWC account. This is a separate thing. So if you register as a borrower, you can then order DVDs from our collection. We ship them to you via UPS. We include a return shipping label in the package. So all you have to do to return them is just put that label on and take it to the UPS, and there's no charge to get them back to us. We know that that was a challenge for some people to get things returned, so we tried to make it as easy as possible. So of those 600 videos, there's also, and if you look on here, I have a link, streaming videos. So something in excess of 200 of those DVDs are also available through our video vendor partner, the Training Network, which means these are available 24/7 from any computer. So if you want to just log in and watch a video on this system, that is something that you're able to do. So once you've registered as a borrower, you just send us, and there's information on here. So basically all you do is register as a borrower, and then you give us your 6-digit borrower ID via email, and there's a link here to send an email to us, and we'll set you up with a Training Network account. Then you're all set to watch those training videos. Like I said, it doesn't cover every single topic that we have, but it's certainly the most popular materials. So that is something that makes it easy for you to use at any time. But we'll certainly work with you to try and get the materials, training materials that you need. If you want to search the collection to see what we have, if you click on that download link, that just basically allows you to just look at the collection without having any account or anything like that. You can see what we have in our collection. And anything that's available on the streaming service says streaming in the description, so it'll let you know which ones are available. But again, if you're not seeing the topic that you want, just call us, because maybe it's not real obvious when you search in the catalog that it's there. And of course, we can always look for other materials. At the bottom of the page here is also a link to some things that the BWC produced. So you'll see a handful of videos that we created. There's a series for temporary workers and some other ones, some things from our safety grant. So those are just click and watch. There's no login or anything like that required. So that's at the bottom of that page. Again, like I said, this service is the most popular thing that we have in the library. We're purchasing new ones all the time. As a matter of fact, I think we just bought 10 new videos. So we've definitely adding things to the collection as much as we can. And lastly, on the BWC libraries page is the written safety program templates. So again, same thing with the safety talks. This is something that gets requested from the library all the time. We've always wanted to have our own programs, and here they are. Over the last 2 years, same thing. We've gotten teams of experts together. So that's the best part. You've got the benefit of all of our safety consultant experts writing these policies. And so as you can see, there's over a dozen of them available. Each one is sort of the same thing. You have a template, and then you have some attachments that go along with them. So you'll see, again, same sort of thing, the safety template, and then any sort of attachments that go along with things. that are sort of supplements to those safety programs. I think the secret sauce on our safety program templates is the way they have been created. Most of the time when I send out a sample that I get from someplace else, it's just a document with blanks. Here you fill in the blanks. We've done more than that on these templates. We've actually added some helper tips on them. So every time you open one of these up, you're going to see along the side of the page some little tips about if you're filling this blank in, make sure you think about this, or this is the sort of thing that this looking for in this spot. Or if you have this at your facility, you might want to add. So it basically has a little benefit of a consultant sort of talking to you on the page with some additional information. Of course, you can always make an appointment with a consultant to help you out more specifically with these, but we've definitely put more in them than just blank spaces for you to fill out. They really have helper materials within them to give you some information about what the template should contain. And again, on this page here, you'll also see links to the safety consultants for getting additional help with these. If there's a topic that's not on here, I know there's a couple that are still in the works, and obviously we picked out the biggest, most needed topics right off the bat, but we have access to more than what's on this page in the library. So please ask, happy to provide you with anything that you need beyond what's on the page. Now that's everything, and that's a lot that is on the BWC's libraries page. So I've also got some things here that I want to show you from the outside web. So outside of the BWC's website, there's some great stuff. We're going to start with OSHA, and in particular, OSHA's publication page. So this is their publication page. See across the top here, there's some ways of kind of sorting out what's in here. There's all of them. They have ebooks. There's their popular ones. They sort them by topic. They sort them by type. They also sort them by language. So you can find things in Spanish and other languages. A lot of the material for COVID was done in a lot of languages because they really tried to make it as expansive as possible. You'll see a lot of the construction materials and things like that are done just in Spanish, but there's additional languages available for some materials. If you kind of scan down here, you'll see things. I wanted to point out a couple of them in particular. They're popular and they're always going to be popular. So they're pretty much always show up on here. This one is the OSHA training requirement book. It's a big download. I'm not going to click on it because it will take a while for it to populate on the page, but it has the training requirements for the standards. So what they've done is they've gone into the standards and they've just pulled out the information on training specifically. That's another one of the questions that the library gets all the time. What training is required for this standard? Who can train for this standard? Who can, how often do we need to train? What needs to be covered? That's in this book. So if you don't download anything else from the OSHA website, this one is useful if you want to keep up with what training is required for the standards. You'll also see over here this small business safety and health handbook. This is an update to a, it's probably 15 or so years old in the previous one, but they completely updated it. And it's a nice overall look at safety and health in the workplace. So even if you don't have a small business, this is still a nice one. And to be quite honest, most companies do fall into that small business category. So there's a lot of good information for you in here. And then you'll see down here, what's kind of new and exciting. Here you'll see landscape and horticulture. Well, that's because of the fact that there are rollovers on those lawn tractors, and we're coming into the hot part of the year. So those are issues. So you'll see kind of what's what's new and current down here on the bottom of the page. But like I said, some of these popular downloads really have a lot of great information in them. So I can definitely encourage you to take a look at this particular page on the OSHA website. Let's see, I've got this so big I can't actually see it anymore. Okay, here we go. So the next thing on the OSHA website is their page called Help for Employers. Now, this it used to just be called Compliance Assistance, but I think, you know, Help for Employers, that's pretty obvious. Compliance Assistance is a little broad, vague. But there are a few things on here that I think are really, really useful. You notice over here, they have that small business resources, that handbook. But over here on this side of the page, under employer responsibilities, is the Compliance Assistance Quick Start. I recommend this to anyone, especially folks in small businesses. If they don't have a big safety team helping them, they don't have a bunch of dedicated people who do nothing but safety and who have a degree in safety, it's easy to get lost when you're trying to comply with OSHA standards. So let me show you what this looks like. They have 3 modules, obviously: general industry, construction, and healthcare. Let me just open the compliance assistance one for general industry and show you what this actually does. It's a step-by-step process to get you through the OSHA regulations. So you start off with the requirements that apply to most industry employers. This is emergency action plans, HAZCOM, you know, those sorts of things that pretty much everybody has to comply with. Then the next thing would be those more specific things that may not apply to everybody. So you may not have confined spaces everywhere or machine guarding everywhere. So those are kind of those common but not universal sorts of things to go on to the next thing. So those, they want to talk to you about some of those things that might apply to your workplace. So you need to look at those. Then the third step is, okay, did we miss anything? So there's a survey information. So they've got some forms to fill out. Go walk around, make sure you haven't missed anything that you should be covering. And once you've figured out exactly what you need to comply with, you go on to the creating your programs. Well, you saw we have a bunch of sample programs to help you out with that, and a bunch of consultants that can help you too. Next thing after that, you figure out what training you need to do. Then making sure that you know how record keeping and reporting works and how to post the record keeping when you're supposed to post it. And the last thing, of course, some additional help that you can get, such as, you know, our consultants, OSHA on-site consultants. So really, it's kind of just a walk through. You know, it'll show you all the different things that are available for you to use to get yourself in compliance so you haven't forgotten anything. So I'm going to move on here to another favorite page of mine, which in fact is the CPWR. Now, don't ask me why CPWR stands for the Center for Construction Research and Training, because I think obviously it must have stood for something else at one time, but it is in fact the Center for Construction Research and Training, a terrific site if you are interested in construction. They have a wealth of information on this website. One of the things I want to start here with research. Now, I showed you our toolbox talks or training talks or safety talks. So on their page, you get over here to the toolbox talks, and for construction toolbox talks, I haven't counted how many there are, but there are literally dozens. They are all available on just in a PDF form. Most of them are in English and Spanish. So you see, as I'm scanning down this page, how many toolbox talks they have. Most of them are really specific to construction, but some of them would be applicable to other locations. I mean, lightning, that might be useful for other places besides construction sites. So you're just going to see as we go down the page here that there's just a lot of information on their toolbox talks. I want to go back to the main page because one of the things I think is super interesting about what these guys do, it says research and training. So it's beyond the training that they have, materials that they have, is their data center. These dashboards here are really kind of interesting. They're visualizations of data about the construction industry. So I mean, some of them just as general as just the characteristics of businesses, employment trends, but they've also got some things, and here's a new one, the fatal and non-fatal injuries in constructions. And if you go to these pages and kind of scan down, it just has some basic information about what these are about. But you come down here and you get to these data visualizations, and you can change information on them so that they just provide particular information that you're looking for. So we could just do 2020, 2011. We could switch it to just showing 2020. And then you can look at different demographics. You can look at it by ethnicity. You can look at it by sex. You can look at over here by the type of injuries. So there are all these different options to show the data about, in this case, fatal and non-fatal injuries in construction. We switch over from fatal injuries to non-fatal injuries. The data changes to reflect that information. So all of their data, go back to that page here, their dashboards are really great. They're all like that. They talk about all these different topics, and they're adding all the time. So you can see a couple of these were updated just recently. Their fatality map, if I go down here, we'll see the, yep, it's loading. There we go. The fatality map, that's kind of scary. So, but you can change the data on that in the same way. It basically has some options. They're over on this side of the page. And that's basically what's been going on. And all of these locations have, they're all separate data points, and they'll have information on them. So you can see what the fatality was that happened at that location. So yeah, there's a great amount of information on these dashboards. So if you're looking for things to present on the topic of construction safety, this is a good one. Under events, you'll also find that they have podcasts, they have webinars. So you can listen to them right here. One nice thing about their webinars is, of course, they have what's coming up. So they're doing Focus 4, I think is their next one. And they have their previous ones recorded. So if there's a topic that you're interested in, you can, in fact, see electrocution, ergonomics, you can listen to their previous recorded webinars, and their webinars are really good. They're all done by very high qualified people. So if there's a topic that we haven't covered at the BWC, here's another source for training materials like that. So that is CPWR. I am going to, I'm not going to do LCOSH. I'm going to do the look at some standards that are available online. Most people have heard of the National Fire Protection Association standards, but most people do not know that they are available for free online. You can, in fact, read all of the NFPA standards. There are some caveats to it. If you go to the site, which I have included on that download on your handout, you can basically go to a code, just pick the fire code, that's the first one. And one it has here, subscribe to NFPA link, which the staff at BWC has access to, or free access. Well, the free access is a view only, but it's very straightforward. It just basically takes you right to that code. So you can just read it online. Now, you can't search it, you can't print it, but you could at least read it. And if you can't find what you're looking for, you can ask a librarian, because I have access to NFPA link, which allows me to both search and print. And I can send you the portion of the code that you need. So again, I've given you the link to that. I also provided on that sheet a link to the Ohio fire codes. So those are available online as well. So let's crank along here to another site that has free standards. So these are the industrial truck standards. So your forklift standards are all available for free online. These are the B56 standards. You have to create an account, but once you create an account, basically you can, in this case, you can download the entire standard, which is in a PDF searchable format. So it's even nicer than NFPAs. You don't have to read it online. You can actually download, print it out, search it in any way you want. So that is a place to get some very useful free standards. Another place for great free material is the American Welding Society. So as you see, free right there on their banner. They're very excited about this. So they have a welding safety program on here. If you need to get actual professional development CEUs, you have to pay for it. It's not terribly expensive, but if you don't need the CEUs, you scan down here, you see that it is in fact available for free. Click on this link, all of the modules pop up, and there are 11 different modules with a pre and post quiz available for you. So these are all free welding safety classes. You can access the safety and welding standard for free. Another one where you're just downloading it to your computer and reading it anytime you want. They also have these health and safety fact sheets. So all of these different welding or things about, some of them are welding, not all of them are, but they're pretty much about something related to welding. So there's 45 different ones on here. So those are all available to you for free from the American Welding Society. So lots of wonderful information from that organization for free. Here's one that's just kind of fun. I said that the state library card would get you access to the books from the BWC collection. A state library card will also get you access to this collection. It's the Ohio Digital Library. If you happen to read books, and this is just anything, not safety books, just your favorite books. If you read on a Kindle or listen to audiobooks, here is another collection beyond what your local public library has for you from the State Library of Ohio. I gave you a link to the card so you can get a state library card. And so you'll see here, there's ebooks and audiobooks and magazines available from this collection. So all you need is this app called Libby. If you're listening on a phone or reading on a Kindle, this will get you access to these books. And since you are a citizen of the great state of Ohio, it is available to you for free, which is the best part. Now, another thing that is awesome about being a citizen of the state of Ohio is that we do, in fact, have the best libraries in the country. That's a fact. So one of the things available from your library card, so if you have a Cincinnati library card, I believe Cincinnati and Hamilton County, I think, is the library system down your way, you will have access to all of this fabulous material. And I've listed a couple specific things which are very popular in my library, one through Business Source. And like I said, I provide you the links with it. So this is a database called Business Source. And if we looked up here at the publications and searched for, I'm going to do a search, I think $125 or $150 a year subscription to the Harvard Business Review, don't buy it, because it's available for you as a person who lives in Ohio with a library card. It's available for free. All of these are going to go to full text, just like in the magazine. You're going to see the full text images of the Harvard Business Review available right there from that system. And if I go back to this, Another one here, EBSCO host. And I provided you the direct links to these, so you'll be able to get to them. But Masterfile has there we go, professional safety. This is the American Society of Safety Engineers. It would cost you money to belong to the American Society of Safety Engineers to get access to their journal, unless, of course, you happen to be a citizen of the great state of Ohio and have a library card. And if that's the case, then you can, in fact, read the Professional Safety magazine for free, because you have access to the full text of all of those pages. So I have basically been going on here for quite some time. I am going to stop sharing my screen and let's see. I don't know if there was any questions that came in here. Yep, I haven't seen any questions yet, but I am happy. I still got all of those websites open, so I'm happy to go back and look at anything again for someone, or answer any questions about what the library can do to help you with your safety. So I'll give people a chance.
Yeah, type in any questions. I took a lot of notes. That was a lot of information. Who knew all that stuff was there? Thank you for kind of showing us around there. You kept saying you gave us the links. Is that in the handout?
It's all, yep, all in the handouts. Those are direct links to all of those sites that I just showed you.
Okay.
Are available in that handout.
Okay. You guys, the handout's in the chat, but I will also send it with the follow-up to this webinar. Any questions?
I don't see any out there. I was just monitoring it, but
Did you learn anything new, Ben?
oh yeah, always pick up something from you.
Well, sometimes you don't have questions till you get in there and start exploring and really get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I covered so much stuff. I mean, the information, you know, contact information is in there. If, you know, I zip past something and you try to go back in and find it and you can't, you know, please reach out to us, because, you know, these are websites and things that we do all the time. So.
All right, we had a fantastic presentation from Linda. Thanks, Linda. All right. Well, with that said, we thank you very much, Sharon, for your time today. And thanks for those of you who came. We will send a recap with the meeting recording and some of the information that she talked about. And then remember, no meeting in June. And then I will also send out the details for our program beginning in July. Invoices for membership renewal will be going out here soon. And again, if you need anything, let us know at the Safety Council or contact Ben. Or now you have another resource, Sharon. So
Yeah.
is your contact information on that handout you sent?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Hopefully we'll see you on the webinar. What to do if I spill a chemical. So I put
Go
it
to
also.
Ben's webinar.
Yeah, go to my webinar.
Ben, I used to work for the Ohio EPA, so I know a little bit about that stuff.
And everybody have a safe holiday and take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye all.